that's okay. Cause once you hear my poppin', you're gonna walk this way. Now I sound different, nothing quite like the rest, which indicates to all you industry insiders.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition, to another installment of the hashtag Fade to Black. First of all, before I get started, yes, I am in my room. I decided not to go outside. It's too cold out these doors today. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to hashtag Fade to Black. I forgot to put the caption at the bottom, but welcome. And I'm here with a very special. Well, I won't consider him a guest. He's basically part of the show now. Ladies and gentlemen, he is one of the CEOs of the Wet Network and also the tech mind behind the Wet Network and the app. I am here with my boy, Will. Will, how are you doing, my man?
I'm doing good. How's the mic doing? Is it okay? Is it clear? Is it loud?
Oh, I can hear you. I can hear you.
You can't. It's good.
Mm-hmm.
Right on.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm having issues with my dang headphones right now. It sounds freaking like stacky and all that stuff. But that's besides the point. As long as I can hear you and I can hear myself. Today, we're going to, and I think you're the perfect person for this show that we're going to talk about. And this about the free thinkers of our community. Yes, free thinkers of our community. And we're gonna deep dive into that because a lot of that is basically being thrown on the internet, and as well as, I don't want to mention this man's name, but Kanye West, because he considers himself a free thinker. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me go ahead and let you know what this man is doing right now. This is his office right now. He always stay busy, but oh, he had to go get him a fresh one, huh? I think it's.
Oh no,
there
wasn't no refreshments, man.
No. So we're going to, first of all, let's give a shout out to our sponsors before we go into the opening statements. You know how this show rolls. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to check out the new latest flavor of the cheesy barbecue from Cheddar Boy Popcorn. You can visit them
for the Cheddar Boy.
Yeah, no, Cheddar Boy Popcorn. I'm telling you right now, they're temporarily closed because right now they're getting caught up on orders. But I want to just throw that out there real quick. They are our today's sponsors. But for the opening statements, Will, I always do a tradition, definitely with new panel members. I'm gonna let you start us off with your opening statement first. Would you mind?
All right. Well, you put the free thinking out there. You know what? The very definition of free thinking is not going along with popular opinion, because that's all it is. Popular opinions. And you step outside of that, start thinking outside the box, people tend to look at you kind of weird,
All right, I got you. All right, so let's go ahead and have you jump off first with the opening statements. Will, take it away.
Good evening. I am the Blunt Jesus. And before we as a panel get into the whole free thinking thing again, let me stress that these are just our opinions. Opinions that are based on fact. Like, we're not gonna be over here feeding y'all just a bunch of the propaganda. If we can back it up with facts and figures, we gonna do that. If we can't, again, please recognize that this is just our opinion and y'all are entitled to agree or disagree. And that is going to conclude the opening statement.
Short, sweet, and straight to the point. But yeah, we got a lot to talk about in this show. And my opening statement is, I have have grown to love horse racing. Never thought in a million years that I would grow to love horse racing. Now, a lot of people always think horse racing is gambling. I just say this: it's fun. Just know your limits. When you go beyond your limits, now there's, it'll be a couple of times where you want to take a little bit more money, just a little bit more money out of it. But when you start just clearing out your bank account, start going to ATM after a big loss and all that stuff, that's when it becomes a problem. So I'm here to say that horse racing is not gambling. All right, a lot of y'all sitting there saying, well, more is just like saying, well, you can't call yourself you drink a lot and that you're alcoholic. But drink responsibly. You drink responsibly. You don't drink and drive, or you just drink in your house, at home, or knowing that you got DD or you're walking distance of your home, you're good. So I want to clarify that. Horse race, I'm still learning it day by day. I had big wins. Actually, the last time I went there, I actually had 4 wins, but then I switched up to another different style of horse racing, and it sucked. But still, I had a big game, and I encourage each and every one of y'all to look at horse racing. Check it out, because freaking the Breeders' Cup is coming up very soon. I think it's coming up next week, actually, which is going to be a lead up to the Kentucky Derby. I know they got some Triple Crown runners coming up, and for anybody that's doing horse races, you should have told me about it a long, long time ago. For those who are newbies like me, just sit back and learn. Okay, don't go too crazy on your first bet. Once you know your limits, you know what type of bet you want to do, I'm telling you, you're going to have fun with it as much as it's going to piss you off. Definitely, if you pick a horse that should win and it doesn't, or a wild card horse that maybe should have won and it does. So it's one of those. It's not even a crapshoot type of game, but you feel what I'm saying. So I just wanted to talk about like the horse racing game, and it's not gambling. And with that, let's get into it. We will be right back. And here we are. We are here and we are back. All right. So as you can see the caption at the bottom, free thinking or self-hate. For your opening statements on the comments that you say, I'm gonna have you lead into this. So what is the outside the box of free thinking that people are missing the mark on?
Well, here's a good example. Stop assuming that every black person that the cops shoot, that it's an unjust shooting. You know, because popular opinion says the cops are just out here killing black people. I always come with the unpopular opinion and a bunch of videos that show it's not just happening to us, it's happening to everybody. But the people that want a certain reaction out of me because of my skin tone are only going to show me one side of it, you know? And if I don't allow myself to freely consider other possibilities, I'm in that box.
Mm-hmm. You know what? I will say this. I agree with you to an extent because when you talk about that box is real, and people do not, definitely our culture do not understand that. Like I did my cigar show on Instagram, tune in, where I brought up about, I didn't say the box per se, but I was mentioning about, maybe it wasn't the cigar show, but it was a show that I did a long time ago where I could say I don't like grits. Imagine if I was in a room of black folks, how many looks I would get.
Right.
They would look at me like I'm a hole in the wall or something like that.
Like you out committing crime and it's grits. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Like I'd be like, I don't like grits. I don't put hot sauce on every goddamn thing. I don't like spades. I think spades is a very overrated fucking game. I'm a Texas Hold'em man. To the point where if I go into like say a house party or go back home and somebody like, hey man, I need a partner with spades. I'll be the first one to be like, no, I'm not gonna do it. Come on, man. I need a partner. I'm like, well, that's your problem. If it's not Texas Hold'em or 7 card draw, I ain't playing.
The one
And
that gets
so
me is chess. You know, people, just because I'm an analytical person, people just assume I'm a great chess player. I don't know how to play that shit.
I have not played chess in years, but I do love the game and be things like that. So I understand about the box thing. Now about the police, that's where me and you're going to have a little bit of a disagreement with, because now you in your area, now don't get me wrong, when I'm saying this, don't want to neglect, you know, the environment that people live in, because
Right.
and I think that's the issue, and that's the problem, because we tend to go on a broader opinion. I won't say broad opinion, I would say like the broader trend, meaning that they would take just this one instance. I'm gonna say it like this. I'm gonna put it like a town hall meeting, and you will agree with me when I say this. Only time when you see us going to a town hall meeting is if something racial thing happens.
I totally agree with that.
Rather than us being there every day, being in there, understanding where the funds are going. Do you even know who your committee leaders are? Who's the leader of the board? Who's representing your district? Who is representing your school systems? Where's the money going to? You know, is the money going to this new project for a train to go through your town? Is this money actually going to building up your side of town? Is this money's going to help make more jobs for whatever? Nobody's there. And the sad
Nobody,
thing is,
nobody but the guy that don't vote.
right, right.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so,
Let that sit on him.
and see, and that's how I'm gonna sum it up like that. I think that's the best way, that because I try to meet people in the middle, and that was the best scenario that I can say. The reason why me gonna disagree on the police thing, but it all totals up to, what are you doing to contribute to your community? I think it's not. I want to say this, and I want to make this abundantly clear. This victimhood mentality. Let's stop it with the victimhood. Saying that. Let's stop saying that, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because you do not know that somebody's actually going through something. I'm gonna use Lil Wayne for example. You got people like Lil Wayne, when he went on 60 Minutes or whatever, and he literally said that racism never happened to me. And I'm doing this because a white police officer saved him, because he literally shot himself, and for some reason he got street cred. And I'm like, hold up, man, that's what? Like, for real? But then they go back to videos where this man was literally on stage and said, Black Lives Matter. Go back to his concerts. Now all of a sudden, this man literally said all lives matter, and then I think Trump did a pardon for him or something like that. And now all of a sudden, he's all about politics, and he's saying, "Well, look, man, all lives matter." And that's where I have the problem. And we do need police reform, but then you have to think about it. Okay, what does police reform does? What is it doing? What is this going to do to? Is it going to have officers in longer training? Is it training that we need to take away, take out? So there's a lot of questions to be asked. But even with me questioning the solution, I'm still saying this: what's going on right now ain't working.
Nope.
It ain't working either. So now to the shooting. So let's go to the shooting. I'm trying to stretch out. So let's go to the shooting. When you said about officers shooting black people. I think that's the part that we don't talk about. We
don't.
talk about, yeah, and we going to talk about. See, look, ladies and gentlemen, I'm fair. I'm fair when it comes to this. Okay, I'm fair because I keep the energy on both sides. I keep the energy on my side, where I literally say that there's no good cops out here, because if you allowing these things to happen, you're part of the problem. Where you just do, as I like to say, laissez-faire, which means hands off in French. That's
Well, I think
what you're doing.
some of that is and I'm not knocking this mentality among law enforcement. I just think that they take it to the next level. The whole idea of the brotherhood, protecting
I
your
can agree
fellow
with that.
cop no matter what. Like,
Right.
tone that down for starters. Protect your fellow
And,
cop up until the point to where he's doing something illegal.
and and one thing I do want to say this: I don't have an issue with our brothers and sisters that do support law enforcement. I have no issues. But the thing is, you also have to see that they are not as squeaky clean as you think. And also, and then on for my side, we just can't sit there and say, well, we need a force that, that the community, it has to look like us. We sick and tired having like white folks, patrolling all black dominated communities. But I'm thinking to myself, if you watch what's that movie with Cuba Gooding Jr. and Ice Cube? What's that? I don't know why I keep saying Tales from the Hood. Boys in the Hood? That's what it is, Boys in the Hood.
Yeah. Damn, I don't know how I didn't remember that.
Yeah, Boys in the Hood. Because you remember that one black cop, it's funny, when he was a kid, he met that black cop.
Mm-hmm.
And he wanted to shake the kid's hand. And remember, Cuba Gooding Jr. as a child, he didn't want to shake his hand. But then met him when he was a teenager and pulled him over and sitting there and saying how much he hate you niggas. So you're basically making the situation 10 times worse, because now you got your own in the police force. And as history states, when you give black people a lot of power, definitely black people like that, they're going to run with it. And now it's just, we're in the position of power. We can do this. All the things that we've been criticizing the whole entire white precinct, now all of a sudden it's okay that the black precinct do it because it's in their communities. And then also for them who's running the precinct is showing the white precinct, like, look, see, we can just be as tough as you, or just trying to get the pat on the head and be like, oh yeah, y'all ran a great precinct. But go on here, I was hear you about to say something.
Is that's the box.
Mm-hmm.
People would rather say, well, if a white person had done it, he'd have got away with it. You just put yourself in a box. You want to get outside that box? The mentality you should have is, let's not catch those charges in the first place. Then we don't have to worry about getting the same punishment or lack of punishment as the white man.
Basically, what you're saying is, don't throw stones when you live in a glass house.
Don't throw stones, no matter what your house is made out of.
Yeah, because I see exactly.
Take a traffic stop, just a regular traffic stop, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many times, black or white or whatever, has that traffic stop turned into an arrest because of a stupid choice by the person that got pulled over? Because they automatically, black person in the car who may have or may not have been speeding, who may or may not have had a seatbelt on, but you got pulled over. What's the smartest thing to do?
Well, the word says comply.
Here's my license. Here's my registration. Thank you for the ticket. Now I'm on my way in 10, 15 minutes. But turning that into an argument simply because the responding officer is white, that's just stupid. That's dumb.
Well, I love to see a case like that, but I see that more out of white folks. Definitely on this side. I like unless it's happening over there a lot. I gotta hear this story.
Oh man, woo!
I gotta hear this,
brother. Even aside from that, there's been 2 murders in 3 days, less than a mile apart.
Wow.
That comes after 2 more murders. What, 2-3 weeks before that, in the same block. And you know what people say? Oh, them black people over there acting a fool. Well, yeah, it's the black people over there acting a fool, and it ain't the white folks. So why every time we start discussing the behavior of black people, certain people want to drag the Mexicans or the white folks or the Asians, they want to drag them people into the mess we're creating for ourselves. Because that's what we're doing. Creating a big ass mess and pointing fingers rather than correcting. The easiest way to stay out of prison is just don't go. It ain't rocket science.
Yeah.
But people would rather play the blame game than, you know what? Personal responsibility is the best way I can lay that out there. If you're interacting with the police, if you want to limit your interaction with the police, all you got to do is not break the fucking law. Because it's not like the cops ain't kicking in doors yet, just dragging people out into the street. The cops ain't pulling people over, just yanking them out their car without asking for certain shit first. You know what I'm saying? We bringing a lot of this on ourselves. And yes, black people in positions of power don't want everybody else to see it that way. They want us to keep blaming outside forces for our bad choices.
But do you think, now this is my question for you, but do you think it's the environment that creates that?
I'll give it, on a scale of 100, I'll give it 80-20, with 20 being the environment. That other 80% is just stupid ass choices.
But you gotta understand also that your environment also got to influence that too. It's like I always hear, what about black on black crime? And I think to myself, okay, if it was that plain out, that means I wake up and like right now, the only close to darkness on this block is in my side of town is 2 doors over. And I think the black immigrants probably from Africa. And if I see them, I'm thinking violence. And so I really do believe it's the environment. And then you get so I don't know why I keep using analogies from movies. I don't know why. But like Shawshank Redemption, I had to use that movie when that one part where Morgan Freeman's character read, where he literally said that because one of their boys left. He was the old librarian who left, but he couldn't get with how the outside world was because he'd been in jail for so long.
He was institutionalized.
Right, institutionalized. That's the word. I was institutionalized. And how he said that these walls are funny. He said you want to get out, then you depend on them. And then he said, do you realize these walls are all what you got? And I'm like, if people actually listen to what Morgan Freeman was saying, they will understand that that's us every day. And that's the black community right there, because I feel that with the environment that we have, it's like this is back 400 years, back 400 years, and they just basically just ravaged our communities, and they ravaged the black communities, invested full of drugs. They basically was the ones poking the stick and basically
Mhm.
throwing it at us, and now it's our problem that you gave us. It's your problem now, it's our problem now, and we inherited. Which goes back to what you're saying. Well, we need to understand that we are doing it to ourselves, which is true too. And I feel, because what all of what you're saying is not wrong. Because I guarantee you, somebody who was really pushing that narrative, they would have said like, "Oh man, you're a coon, you a sample."
Hmm.
No, these are problems that are literally happening that we have to give energy on both sides. We gotta keep that same energy. We just can't sit there and sit on one side of the energy and be like, "Well, cops are killing black folks and all that stuff." On the other hand, you have to understand that there are black criminals out there. But then also on that side, well, there are black criminals every day and all that stuff. But also you gotta realize where the drugs is coming from in the first place. And they already got a documentary that was it in that was based on New York, where it was a freaking bunch of policemen that was also in the drug game too.
Yep.
Getting paid to get paid by
Getting
different gang
broke
lords
off.
to
They
to
was
squeeze.
they was providing protection for the drug
Mhm.
dealers.
Right. And
So,
so
so how the community's supposed to win if the people that's supposed to stop that shit are the ones helping shovel it in there?
shovel it in. Yeah. And so what I'm saying is for this case, what I'm
Yeah,
saying is for
man,
this
come on in,
case.
close the door. Introduce you to the. I'm sorry, man. We
Oh,
got a in-house guest this evening, and he was getting his
okay.
pimp on while we discussing social issues.
Yeah. Oh, come on. Hey, Tom, come on in. So these are
old girl was in there. She was like, "Hey, he right though. He ain't lying, but he right though."
so
you
I mean,
you got some fans, brother.
hey, how you doing?
What's happening?
We got another special guest on the show. We'd love to get his take on it. I'm just gonna finish my thought and then I'm gonna have him chime in. So for us to actually be like activists in our community and to change for our community, we have to understand that there is a problem. And unfortunately, like I said, we're in an environment that we didn't create. Unfortunately, we become a product of it. But now that we at this point now, we also have to know that we got people that are unfortunately living and dying by this code of this freaking society that we're in. And we need to also address that. We have to see that we do got hustlers. And I mean, even the rappers even said that I didn't have a father figure. I looked up to the hustlers. I looked up to the pimps. I looked up to the drug lords. I looked up to all of them because I ain't had a father figure. They were the only people that showed me love. And that has to be addressed. That had to be something that had to be looked at. That's something that we have to talk about. I will get to my solution, but I'm gonna let this brother. What's your name again, sir?
My name is Eric. Or
Eric.
Yeah.
Give me your take on the. I got the caption on the screen. Free thinking or self hate of the black community, because you got a lot of people. I hate using his name, Kanye West, that says he's a free thinker. I'm gonna use him as an example. I cannot stand him.
I think it's a mix between the two, because what I've noticed here in our society is a lot of people want things the way that it used to be, but don't want to go through those motions and what kept things the way they used to be. So,
Okay, I don't want things the way they used to be.
well, meaning like
you was on the back of the bus then. I ain't going back to the back of the
bus. Of course, yeah, it's changed. But when I say like people still think of the opposite. Okay, prime example would be relationships. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of people that's like, well, the man's supposed to do this, the man's supposed to do that,
right?
Blah 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 blah. But then when these times were happening, the woman was at home taking care of XYZ. The roles was a little bit changed. You know what I'm saying? So it's, to me, it's we got people whose mindset is still back then, or I want these morals or these principles, but don't want to come to, okay, now the times has changed, the rules have changed. You know what I'm saying? You can't still want what was, and things have changed. You have to change with what the want is. You can't you can't stick with the women are working now, men are working now. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta also examine what caused women as a whole, not just black, white, whatever. What caused women as a whole to step into that role?
I mean, I get it. You know what I'm saying? Women's rights. You know what I'm saying? A lot of women.
Not necessarily women's rights. Again, look at the title, free thinking. To me, let's go to the hood. Let's go to the heart of the hood. Let's go to the projects, right?
Oh boy.
Where folks is living in an apartment, a townhouse that normally the rent on this spot is $500, $600, $700 a month, but she only kicking out $25 because the powers that be done told her, you can't have no man living here with you. You got to handle all this house shit yourself. You know what I'm saying? All this stuff has been used to drive division in the black community.
I hear you that.
Because they've been telling this woman for so long she don't need no man. That done stuck in here. I mean, so when they extend that cheap ass apartment into projects, oh, I don't need no man. I got this place. I can do all this shit myself.
That's true. That's true.
And I really want to see an actual woman that don't need no man. And she need to be ready to get up, cut her own grass, change her own oil. Don't take your car somewhere where there's a man that's going to be working on it.
You stole the thought right in my mind.
Because whether that man is a part of your everyday life, you still need a man for something.
Right. And going back to when you were saying that the black community stop blaming other ethnicities, other communities, which once again I gotta go back to flipping Kanye West when he sit there, he said all these things about when he went back, he talked about the Jewish community. He don't realize that when he said those things, he should knew that all of the things that he had was connected either to a Jewish family or to a Jewish person. And I'm like thinking to myself, why in the world are you going at the Jewish community? If it wasn't for the Jewish community, hip hop world wouldn't be $1 billion commodity as it is. And this is what I mentioned on the cigar show. This is what I mentioned. It's sad that we do not have no billionaires or multi-millionaires from that era. I'm talking about the Kool Moe D's, Heavy D, freaky LL Cool J. Even though LL Cool J, he's up on the rise, but I mean, still, it shouldn't take what he's doing now to make millions and billions. He should be a billionaire by now. I mean, Run DMC. Was that?
I say, look at Common. Common was one of the realest rappers I've met in my time. I'm gonna keep it hot like that. But Common didn't really get a Grammy notification or a music notification until within the last 10 years. You see what I'm saying? Like his first.
Well, I can sum that one up with 5 words.
What's that?
Rap sells, hip hop teaches.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I'm getting at, because who owns people just think that when you have a record label, that's it. You're the man, you're independent, you're good. But people don't really. Let's use Cash Money for example. Do you think Cash Money is an independent record label? I'm gonna ask y'all 2 gentlemen that.
I'll let him answer. I got like insight to that. So
Cash Money is no.
Okay, cool. All right, cool. We on the same wavelength. People think there was like, and I'm gonna use No Limit for example too, and let's use Bad Boy 2. They think, oh, they
Three
ran
good
the
examples.
record. Yeah, it's like they're black owned, they're rap owned record labels. Yeah, woohoo! But people don't understand where the
It
real
wasn't
money
black
comes
owned
from.
in the first.
Oh yes.
It wasn't
Yeah.
black owned at
Oh
first.
yes.
Right. And so
All-
let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Let's just say they are black owned. But people don't realize where the real money comes from. That's distribution.
Facts.
Bam.
Sony. I'm gonna use Sony for example. I use the example of my showing the cigar lounge. Don't forget tune in Instagram. I literally said, look at how Sony does it. Sony's a record label and a distributor. So for Cash Money to get all the Lil Wayne's albums out there, all his songs, you remember his mixtapes? For him to get that all out there, they have to go through a distributor.
Right.
They have to go through them. The distributor is the middleman. They are the middleman that get the music distributed to the radio stations. Going back to what he's saying, the Grammys, all that stuff, to all the radio stations all over the globe, send it to MTV, send it to freaking VH1, all of it.
These labels were black owned, and the only way to make any money off of them, because it's interesting that you pick those three labels, because one of the common initial things amongst those labels was they didn't want to give up any creative control.
No,
they only wanted distribution.
And
once the distributors got what they needed, where's Cash Money now? Where's No Limit now?
Yeah.
Well, Baby fucked up. Excuse me.
No, you good.
Baby messed up Cash Money, dog, because Cash Money, if people don't notice that, Cash Money had the chain. It was Cash Money, then it was Young Money. Well, excuse me, we can go back before it was Cash. Well, yeah, no, Cash Money did come out as Cash Money. I was thinking about the CDs. You know, you had 300 degrees, 400 degrees, like.
And then you got Young Money that was basically Lil Wayne's label.
Facts. New Money, and then it was New Money, which was their branch out. So it was kind of like if Baby wouldn't have fucked up the chain. You know what I'm saying? They always say the fish rots from the head down. If Baby wouldn't have fucked up the chain, they would have had generation after generation for money, bro.
Yeah. No, and so, and people don't understand also as a distributor. If I'm a record label and you are a distributor, well, I'm answering to you. You're like, okay,
bam.
Whose music are distributing? Okay, how many units? And you know how I learned that? How I learned that was from an episode of Mary Mary. Remember Mary used to do when they used to do reality shows. And her husband
have a reality show.
Huh? Yeah, Mary.
They did have a reality show.
And I think the older sister, her husband owns a record label. He owns their label. He owns his own label, which their music is distributed out of. And I saw one episode where this was season where he was going through. I think this one he had aneurysm because he's making music for his wife. He got to deal with her sister, who was a pain in the ass, and he got to worry about other artists' music distributing. And they was distributing that music through Sony, and that's why I use Sony. And it's funny, they will always send a black rep down there for any black, member representation. But he always, wherever they went on that tour, that dude's always there with his little confidants around him. He's like, hey man, we've been waiting on her album. We've been waiting on the songs that you need. We need to distribute this, and we need this in 3 days. He was on they ass like every date.
Worked for the distributor. Should the distributor be going to the artist saying we need this record?
Yeah, and I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I said,
that ain't supposed to happen,
right? And I'm thinking to myself, but as a distributor, distributor should be answering to us because we're the ones supplying them the stuff,
the material,
the music material. Right. And then I think about it, and I'm like, hold up. Sony. 1. 2, you got a hot artist. 3, you are a small label that is striking hot right now.
Mm-hmm.
We got other.
That's where the distributor likes to find them.
Yeah, you small time. Now, if you're Cash Money, you got leverage. You got leverage.
You got to say so.
Actually, yeah, you got leverage. But
you got to say so until you get ready to put out a record that the distributor tells you we ain't putting that out. Change that.
Right. And it goes back to what you were saying about how Baby didn't pay Lil Wayne. And I'm tell you, look, I'm not a big Lil Wayne fan. I think Lil Wayne's overrated. But I'm a respectable hater. I had to respect the man, what he's done for hip hop. He pushed it more into the mainstream, where now you hear every little white kid singing his song, saying that he's the greatest rapper alive.
Well, I feel like I was a real big Lil Wayne fan, but I look at it as the reason why a lot of people say Lil Wayne is the best rapper alive, because he was just doing things that other people wasn't doing. Right. At that time, he was the first person to do a lot of them things as far as help bring the country into the black communities. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of people that I've met, like I've come up through life and say, yeah, I listen to country music. But it's not a lot of us who can say that they listen to a lot of different music. Oh, I listen to rap, I listen to R&B or neo soul, what's now neo soul. I listen to that, but you don't never really hear them say, yeah, I listen to pop, I listen to alternative, you know what I'm saying? I listen to country. You don't hear a lot of us back then. Now, because you have rappers like Lil Wayne and Jay-Z and Nelly, who did venture out to the other genres.
I can find 5 white kids right now that can name 5 rappers. I cannot find 5 black kids that can name 5 country artists.
Wow. And that's crazy, because I listen. Yeah,
I'd agree.
Yeah, because they would look at you crazy, be like, man, nobody don't listen to that country music. And the sad thing is, they don't know that country music is basically just a toned down black music.
It's a slower version of what basically a slower version. They talk the same shit. It's just spoken different. Language is different.
Right.
Kind of like somebody who speaks Spanish. You know what I'm saying? They sing an English song. It's not going to sound the same as them singing it in Spanish.
Right. And it's like if you could put a BB King song with Travis Tritt song, you will hear the resemblance of the song. It's just like you hear more of a gritty soul with it, and with country, it's like more of like a watered down version of it. And so, yeah, I understand exactly, because I listen to country, Brooks and Dunn. I already mentioned Travis Tritt. What's his name? Garth Brooks.
Shania
Twain. Alan Jackson. Even though I didn't like what Alan Jackson did when Beyonce was at the CMT Awards, when he literally walked up. No, Alan Jackson been in for a hot minute. Alan Jackson was the bridesmaid of freaking Garth Brooks, because every time when they competed for country, I think a country song of the year or something like that.
Yeah, he was always in the running.
Always in the running.
Yeah, I watch CMT sometimes, dog. I ain't saying I'm a big country fan, but I just so happen to, listen to some of the words, man. Like,
but who's that one? Darius Rucker. That's the brother man. Yeah. Darius Rucker. I love his music. I love that guy. Like,
man, I got something to say. You, brother, it's a cat. I think he was nominated for Country Music Artist of the Year last year or before, young black
And-
guy, you know.
And the crazy thing is, this man, who's the first black country star, I forgot his freaking name. I went back and listened to his music back in the day, and I'm like, yo, and this man was getting shitted on back in the day, but he was making some good ass tunes. He actually talked with Darius Rucker before he passed away, rest his soul. He actually told Darius Rucker, he said, look, hey man, they gonna smile in your face, but make sure you stand your ground who you are. Told him that. Darius Rucker, he still talks about the racism in country, and he still gets the respect. Like, I remember when I was stationed in Fort Campbell, a Darius Rucker song would come on, people still would jam to that shit. People love Darius Rucker and Nashville and country.
I think it's I feel like, because I'm sitting up here, I'm thinking, you know, free thinking self.
Yo, I'm about to joke around, be like, you're free thinking.
Yeah. Free thinking, self-hate. And what sticks out to me a lot is, I hate to keep going back, but you know,
No, you good.
a lot of us, our fight, we can't, us as a community, we self-hate ourselves, if that makes, we put a lot of hatred on ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, our ancestors, Martin Luther King, your Malcolm X's, you know, fighting for the slavery, fighting for the rights, fighting for the stuff that we are able to do now.
Right.
But when these situations come up now, we don't fight.
We too busy pointing the finger.
Yeah.
It's a lot of us that, you know, okay, my ancestors fought for that 40 acres and a mule. Okay, that's not my fight. So for me to say, yeah, I'm standing up because I want that government to give me my 40 acres and a mule, I wasn't promised that. So why am I fighting for that? If you want land, go get your 40 acres. Mules cost, you go to a farm and go buy a fucking mule. You know what I'm saying?
$100,000 for a mule.
Yeah.
I just feel like the fight, like if you're going to fight, like we got to come together. One, that's one of our biggest things. Like we can't come together like so you see some of these nationalities do. Hispanics do it, Mexicans do it, Africans do it. You know, not to single people out, but you come and look at the black community as a whole, and we can't even stay together for 6 months. But you see these other standing, making houses and family. Y'all got the top level, we got the middle level. We're gonna work together type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right. And
we until we get over that mindset of I want my 40 acres and a mule and say, all right, well, that's already passed. We need to fight for our shit now. We need to fight for, okay, yeah, black women rights. We need to fight for what the goddamn cops is doing. You know what I'm saying, to some of our black people. And let's not even mention what's never mentioned is, oh, what about the black racism? You know what I'm saying? Or the black people who going after these white people, you know what I'm saying? Just because I don't like white people. We as a whole got to change our mindset to say, if we can come together as a community, we would stop a lot of shit.
It's funny that you brought that up, because it actually in line to what my point was with when about the independent labels and the Jewish people, because when we point fingers, definitely I'm gonna use the Jewish community for example. What Kanye West said was not even freaking deserved. I was like, why would you do that? And lies to what you're saying, because then they always be like, well, why are you over there working with those Mexicans and all that stuff? You know they don't like us. And I always have to think to myself, well, yeah, maybe a certain few don't like us, but
that's the problem with racism, bro. Because no offense, okay, I'm not saying that what was done was right. My argument about the whole George Floyd thing was there was no record about my man's past ever saying that he was racist. You know what I'm saying? He had a bad decision that day. It was, the whole shit was, yeah, it was fucked up. I'm not saying that it wasn't, but as soon as you label somebody something, that sticks. We don't know that man from a can of paint, but because it was a white man on a black guy, he's racist.
That was all it took.
That's all it took.
Hey,
Who to say that
but
he
see,
was?
If
yeah,
I go
true.
outside right now, like literally right now, and slap the shit out of a white woman, I am immediately going to be a racist person.
I mean, think
Although
about
our
Well,
interactions,
well,
have
no,
shit to do with race.
no. See that now. I'm at this. I'm gonna have to take that one back because what you just said. Well, and the reason why is they won't see you as a racist person. That's gonna be they gonna say you one of those niggers that's out there smacking white women. For you to be called a racist would be nice. That would be nice. That'd be
But
close.
but off the rip, it's going to be a hate crime, right?
Right.
I didn't hate her. I just didn't like the dumb shit she was doing. More than likely, if I slap a white woman, it's because she done pulled a knife or a gun on me, and I'm not waiting to see what happens next.
Right. And so going back to what you're saying, and the crazy thing is, back in the day, even in Reconstruction, Black people did practice group economics, as what's his name, Claude Anderson would say. They practice it. And one thing, and we actually have panelists on the show. I think Seepaway, hopefully he watches from some time to time. Seepaway, what's up? Me and Seepaway had a little discussion, and then also I had past shows on it where people criticize Black people for getting in the military. You're fighting the white man's war. I'm like, no, I fought this country because I'm not forgetting all the rest of the Black soldiers that fought for us.
Hey,
but they don't realize all the Black Wall Streets, as I call them chocolate cities, that the reason why they were robust and they had robust economy and people stuck together was because of the military veterans. They couldn't use their money anywhere else. They couldn't live anywhere else. So they lived in the Black communities and they built it up. Why do you think it was so structured? Why do you think everything was in order? Everything was in line. They run that not only did they run that military, money up in there, all the stuff that they was taught in the military, they put it in those communities. Unfortunately, they should have had militias. They should have had their own militias. Should have been teaching their kids how to shoot and practicing what the KKK was doing. Because I promise you, if they was doing all that mess and teaching their kids that and teaching each other that, including the wives, who knows? Maybe majority of those Black chocolate cities will be standing still today. I mean, but that's my theory.
That's what you're saying is kind of what we need to do till this day. That's what needs to be happening, but it's never happened. It didn't happen then. It's not happening now. And the only way for it to happen in the future, maybe we'll see it. You know what I'm saying? Only way for it is if we start what we got to get. Here's my theory. In order for the rest of the Black community to follow, because that's what a lot of Black people do, hate to say it, in order for the Black community to follow, we may have to find that first successful Black community to do it fucking right. As a real community. You feel what I'm saying? And then it's, this is how we got to do it. But without that, we could talk for days. Oh, this needs to be done in our community. That needs to be done in our community. But until, like slavery, until it was shown to us that we could be free by ourselves, not held in captive, until we saw it, we was that mindset. How, Harriet? How are we going to run here to there without getting caught? Right. That's the same mentality we got today. How are we going to own the business when the white man already got the business? How we gonna do
like,
this?
Right. It's like already... right. It's like you already gave up already at the damn finish at the start line. It's like, oh man, all you gotta do is put one foot in front of the other. But no, man, they already own it. What happened if they got another obstacle wait for us? I mean, look at how many other obstacles our ancestors had, and here you are.
Or, hey, your child was over there beating on some kids. No, not my kid. My kid would never. We don't have that no more, bro.
Have you ever
Not
heard
you.
me? This I'm supposed to gotta not I'm not directing this
Look,
at you, just
yeah,
in general.
yeah.
Have you ever heard me say that when somebody said, "Hey man, when your kids was," my first thing is, I'm gonna kill him.
I feel it.
Right.
You know, once we step up and try to correct somebody else's kid, it's a problem. But you're not correcting the issue because you don't see it's an issue. But
I have two kids, two little ones, 14 and 13, right? He'll tell you that together they could be more of a problem now than most grown people are.
I know mine are.
I teach them what I know.
I try to.
You know?
I try to. Some of them get it, some of them don't. But I can tell you now, all my kids together will outdo a community of people. I have that much because of the way that we have brought our kids up. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like I know for a fact his kids too, but I can't say that about this person, that person. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Right.
It's we don't have a community to say, hey, we are not real family, but we are in this together. Let's make our own money, generational wealth type thing.
Right.
We're scared to do it.
Right. And so two things, because you mentioned some great points. So the first thing that you mentioned about us not wanting to get from the starting line because they think everybody owns it. I always been preaching on this show, super PAC. Super PAC is basically a group or a group of people coming up with ideas, agendas for whatever certain party or certain groups that they're doing it for. And then you got another super PAC where you got people that you groom or raise money to invest into, well, I won't say invest, rent other current politicians to push your agendas.
Right.
That is one of my solutions that I've been preaching on this show because a lot of us don't vote. What me and Will was talking about, we got these town hall meetings, these city hall town hall meetings, city meetings, teacher student conferences that majority of us don't even go to unless if it's something racial happens. That's the only time you will see us, but we're never there for the real important issues. So with the super PAC, because people gotta understand, if you're saying that, not trying to go political on y'all, but if if you see an issue in your community, I'm gonna use an example where y'all at, because basically well, he's basically my freaking BET News over there. What's going on over there?
Where are you at?
I'm in Washington,
Okay.
Washington State. Yeah, so
okay, my best friend is over there.
Oh, okay. Because I'm originally from Virginia, so I'm originally from there. So I've been through North Carolina, and like I said, y'all still underrated when it comes to the freaking barbecue game. Y'all got the best barbecue, hands down. I just want to mention that.
Yeah, man, because we got the farms down here, dog.
Yeah,
they do down here is farms.
Right. So everybody sitting there is talking about Texas and all that stuff. But anyways, we can talk about it a little bit later in the show. So
yeah.
You trying to get your jersey burned up? Yeah.
Hey now. So here's the thing. If you see the problems that's going on in your community, and the first thing you blame is the current president of the United States, you are already lost in the fucking sauce.
Facts.
You are already lost.
You see me drop my head, bro. I went dead already.
Maybe you didn't hear me say you getting ready to get your jersey burned up.
So when you say I blame President Biden for what's going on here, it's like, no, whoa. Look, I don't care. I don't even care if Trumpy was still in. I would still be like, hold up, stop. Who's your governor? First of all, who is your state rep?
Facts. But
Who is your
before you go there,
senator? Who's your senator in the federal government? Not only just that, who is your local representatives? Who is your committee leaders? Who is running your school boards? Who is the board of directors for your district? If you cannot answer any of those questions, or at least like what y'all say about naming 5 country stars, if you
Right.
can't name at least one of your committee members, you already lost the sauce. I hate when people sit there and say, well, you got to go for the head of the snake. For us country bumpkins, people, when I hear people say that, because basically where I'm at is in the city over here in Washington, when I hear that say, I just want to look them in the face. I say, you just don't know what the, you thought you were spit, did you? You thought you were saying something. Let me explain something to you. When you chop a head off a snake, what did the snake do?
It still moves.
The whole entire body is still alive.
Yeah.
Even the head's still moving.
Facts.
That head of that, if you put the head, no matter what that, I'm gonna say, if you chop off a head of a water moccasin, and you put your finger near the head where the mouth is, you can still get bit. You can still get all the venom. You can still get paralyzed, and you can still die if you don't get medical service, medical attention soon.
It's funny that you say that, because me and a friend of mine was talking the other day about the same thing, something similar, and because we was talking about school systems, and I'm not gonna go into depth because that's a whole nother topic in itself. But
I got you.
However, when I'm gonna ask you a question, when you went through the school system, do you remember anything about them teaching you about anything other than your president? You feel that election? Because I don't recall. Maybe I missed school that day, or maybe I was in sleeping class that day.
Right.
But I don't recall ever really being taught about anything under the House senators, you know what I'm saying? The Senate, anything Congress, the city, everything that happens in the city.
You know what?
Okay.
I will have to say this. They do tell you about the federal. They only tell you a little bit about the local government. But thank goodness, I went to, I don't want to call it school special. It's basically helping out kids to get their GPA up, and then they go to, it was a program that they had for before, for ninth graders going in with the low GPA, that they go to this school, which actually helped out for them to learn better. And I was part of that school. And the woman that ran it was a politician. She used to be a state representative. She actually took us to our at the time, the Virginia House of Assembly. We went there and we actually saw how they did their sessions, all the representatives, all the districts, and all that stuff. I'm sitting there like, yo, and at the same time, she explained to us about how it goes, how it runs through this person, what this person who's Speaker of the House, and all that stuff. Thank goodness I got that. But minus that, no. minus that, no.
Shit.
And yeah, and so I still remember my it's funny, I still remember his name, Mr. Shanks. I don't know why nobody didn't like him. I like the guy. Maybe because they thought his class was boring. I thought his class was very inspirational, because he actually explained the 3 branches of government. And that's another thing. And I think, Will, you probably gonna get a kick out of this. For anybody who sit there and say that they blame, Congress or president about anything, just ask them, okay, what branch is the presidency? How many people would you think would know that? First of all,
You'd be surprised at how many don't.
Right. Look, and think about this. If you really want to put somebody, like pull them in their place, like they think they know more about you when they talk more conspiracy theories than actually what's going on, Tell them, what are the 3 branches of government? And they're gonna be like, where's one government? How are they 3 branches?
No,
Name them.
There are 3.
Should a 7th grader know, and I mean not just know of, but know about Ellis Island?
I think that, you know what? I think kids should know. They should know everything. I want to say no.
It's
everything.
Ellis Island.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I will tell you.
It's not enough time to teach in school, dog. So
yeah,
it's really not enough time to teach everything. I get that. I just feel like they need to fix the curriculum and what the fuck they teach.
If you are going to teach government and citizenship, don't you think it's a good idea to include how people that are not born here become citizens?
Well, no, because the only thing that matters,
the trip they take, the process. Don't you think that's important?
It is important, but it ain't important to what's on that test. The only thing they're really teaching you is what the fuck's on that test. That's the only thing that matters, because their job is on the line if they not teaching, right? If they're not, but they could be teaching a whole lot, but if they're not teaching the right thing for them to pass that test that the teachers are getting graded on, you might as well just.
You are going to get a kick out of this one. There's only one test. Pay very close attention, America. There's only one test in America where what you get right actually counts.
What's that?
The SVAP.
Get out of here. Not even the SOLs? What?
Not the PSATs, not none of that other bullshit.
So the SAT,
all of that is to see what you don't know.
Correct. The SAT
that classifies you.
The ACT, the SAT, realize they only grant you on that score, right? With that score is to tell you what colleges you're able to get into.
Oh,
right?
No, sir.
That's what a lot of people think. Well, if I score this, I'm able to get into a better college. Oh man, that score, that test, what you do and don't know. Realize what is on that test, and you get 100 points for even getting your name right.
And you know the crazy thing too?
Now you already know the importance of a high score in an ASVAB.
Oh yeah. Trust me, in the military. Trust me, I know. And the crazy thing is all that we're saying is not wrong, because this what when we say those, this is what's happening. It's all in a rotation. It's not even going in a circle. It's all a rotation. And once again, I believe, because and here's the thing, there are already Black organizations out there that get a lot better. You got the Negro Leagues, you got obviously the NAACP, and they should say, well, there's no Black organizations out there to help. I say this. First off, I still go on making our own super PAC. I think the communities need to start their own super PACs. You gotta make 2 separate ones. One for grooming young leaders. I believe that you should tell your kids, be like, look, a lot of people say that they want their kids to be doctors and all that stuff, which is great. I want them. We need more doctors, but then also we need more Black politicians too. So
I got a question.
Lawyers out there. What's up?
No, sir.
I got a question.
That's what we don't need. We don't need no more Warnocks and Herschel Walkers, brother.
No, I mean them going through actually getting educated, grooming them, and then these activists.
Most of them niggas is educated.
I don't think it's
the problem.
I got a question.
The education, the type of.
I got a question.
Education just teaches like just regular fucking public school. That shit only teaches people to want more. It doesn't teach people to be better fucking people.
True.
Yeah, that's true.
Everything you do,
they don't teach you how to run a business neither.
Or high school is you have to do this to get this. You got to be better than this person to get this. Why can't we just teach people to be better fucking people?
Right. Go ahead. Go ahead. What you about to say?
I got a question. So, if y'all grew up, because y'all are a little bit older than I am, I'm assuming you are, but I know you are. No offense, but if y'all grew up, or how would you feel that our community would do you think it would be different if we grew up knowing that there were black presidents before the Constitution?
I would love to learn it, but we got our main man. He's finally on, Mr. Billsley.
Oh, what's up, man?
What's up, my cats? Man, sorry about this. Out here doing army shit. Anyway.
And look, I got 4 10s, dog. I got Mondays off, man.
Okay. Lucky you, motherfucker. Lucky you. Anyway.
So Billsley, you came in at the perfect time. I want this brother to ask the question that he asked me. Go ahead, you have the floor.
You want me to ask that question? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think our community would be different if we knew that there were black presidents before the Constitution was established? Because I feel that it would have probably gave us a little bit more hope, especially in politics. You see what I'm saying? A lot of us don't vote. A lot of us don't feel that we could be a president, a senate, a senator, or you know what I'm saying? None of that. Governor. It's only certain ones of us that know and that may want to do that. But there are a lot of us that just don't know.
Basically, I will say this. Yes and no. I'm always kind of throwing it like that. Yes and no. And this is why I say it like this, right? Think about it this way. If we knew this, would it really make a difference, or would it not? You got to look at other communities like Chinese community, Korean, etc. Right? Most of those communities work together. You know what I mean? Especially the Jewish community. So the thing is, knowing always the disconnect for Black Americans is the lack of knowing our history anyway. You know what I mean? So the thing is, by the lack of not knowing our history for real, we're in certain ways we're separated on a lot of different things. It's just like I was talking to Darnell. I think this was like a couple of days ago, but you have people who will support. We were talking about like Walmart, right? Walmart is possibly one of the most corrupt companies in America. But how many motherfuckers will go and shop at Walmart? Millions and millions, like the Rocks fans. Millions and millions daily. So the thing is, it's all about if we were as unified as a lot of these other communities are, I think it would make a difference. Now, it's just kind of like how we see like Egyptians and knowing that most of the pharaohs were Black, before the invasions and different things like that. We know different stuff like that. We know about different kings and queens that lived and ruled in different areas. But what has that done for us? I think that type of history is so far out, we feel like it's too far away for us to even reach. It's just like we have a Dr. King holiday, right? But we choose him, we treat him like he's the chosen one. Like God only made him to be this great, to have statues and streets named after you. You know what I mean? It's not one of those type of deals that we're not coming together and say, man, we could do that. You know what I mean? I don't remember even hearing that in school. Only thing that I heard about that man in school was he died for us because, he loved everybody and it was always some low level stuff, but it wasn't to a mode of why he really got killed. He really got killed because he started playing with the higher ups money, and they were worried about that, and they was like, "Oh, Negro, you got to go." You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. And look at that time period when the '60s hit. Most black leaders went away, and what happened? Everybody went their separate ways. You know what I'm saying? It's like you see little shots of unity that happen, but it's either the government or even ourselves that will go ahead and put a monkey wrench in the shit, man. You know what I'm saying? How is it that Malcolm X got shot up? Damn, his own people did that to him. FBI helped, but his own people was willing to go ahead and throw him in the bang for that. I say, and me and Donnell said that last week, but the thing of it is, I really believe that's the same thing that happened to Dr. King. Every one of those dudes that was willing to go ahead and close the casket on him like that, look at where they are now. Most of them are either in office, in some type of government official office. They either have some type of crazy job that they have. Some of them are millionaires. Jesse Jackson. The thing is, you have so many that benefited from that. And look at what happened when that shot rang out. Them dudes was pointing to a whole different direction. Now, all four of us are from a specific type of neighborhood. when shots rang out, what the hell you going? I ain't pointing to nothing. First of all, I'm either getting down or I'm running, son. Yo, I don't care what you say. No, we've all been to parties or whether it's at the news or whatever else. Them shots rang out, you getting down. You either getting down or you hiding behind. Exactly. That right there, what you just did. How he got that lean on, like, oh shit. Yeah, that's what usually happens. But them dudes was like, he's over there. He's over there. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. Look, he wasn't over there.
My cup would be floating by itself. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
1 minute right here.
Man, I'm telling you, that stuff that trips me out. And that's why I'm about to get even deeper than that when it comes to this.
Go ahead, Billsley.
Every year, you being in the military, every year, what do the military, or I'll say the Army in general, do? We celebrate Dr. King's holiday by having a ceremony for this very man. A lot of people will go ahead and say James Earl Ray pulled this trigger. And just like I said about the John Kennedy incident, that's a lie. Because there were different hands in that one. And just like in Dr. King's assassination, I will say this. His son Dexter visited James Earl Ray in jail, right? And this was when James Earl Ray was on his last leg. This guy was dying from cancer and all this other stuff. And he looked at Dexter in his eyes, man. He was like, I ain't do it. I'm going to tell you this. I ain't do that. For real. Then they had a trial in Memphis. And the government straight up and said, yeah, we killed that dude. Matter of fact, it was a Green Beret sniper who killed that man. And that's how it is. And it was not, to this day, no one will say anything about it. But where do I find this? Jet Magazine. I was like, what? That's when they used to go ahead and talk about news and stuff and some good stuff. Like BET did when they used to have the news on for about an hour. So yeah.
Before they sold their souls.
They were about it. So the bottom line to all of what from the question that you mentioned, if we were more unified, it would make a difference. It would make a big difference. We have a lot of successful people within the ranks of Black people, but yet and still, most of them use their position for buffoonery. It's not for empowering people or our people or whatever else. just like today, I was talking to somebody earlier about hip hop musicians, man. Like you have cats like when hip hop first really came out, or rap music first came out, it was empowering. It was like teaching you different messages and stuff. Then gangster rap came in, then all this other stuff. And nowadays, the thing to do on a rap album is, first of all, to go ahead and snitch on yourself, talk about how many cats you killed, how many girls you done fucked, how many dudes, wives and girlfriends you done bent over and everything like that.
How much drugs you done sold.
Right. And how much drugs you sold. But yet and still, when you see this artist, and I use that term very loosely, see this artist in the street and get shot up, everybody wondering, man, why did this happen? First of all, this fool was talking about how he was rolling through different hoods and taking out several different people. How he was, you know what I mean? How he was fucking your wife every other day while you was on tour. Damn, yo, for real?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not cool. This is not cool. It's not empowerment. And that's the problem with us, man. But at the same time, the shit is influential because you got people around the world listening to that. You know what I mean? And that's why if any of us went to another country and everything, they would think one or two things, right? They would think, first of all, we might be athletes or something like that, because there's no way regular Black Americans could go ahead and travel all that way from America and see my little country or whatever else, or big country, by being regular Black men, right? But at the same time, they might think that you're a rapper too, because the thing of it is, they can't see past the bullshit. That's why I love the internet, but I hate it at the same time, because you got cats looking at world star hip hop and they think that's all of us, man. For real. You know,
I don't even think it's more the international world think that's us. That's us thinking that's us.
No.
So
no. Like that's the truth, bro. Because I had a conversation with this African dude. You know what I'm saying? No offense to anybody. I had a conversation with this African dude, and he really spoke. He was like, "Yo, man," he was like, "Why do you think that a lot of us Africans, or a lot of Africans, don't like the Black people in America?" And I said, I never really thought about it. You know what I'm saying? Then he told me, he was like, "Cause one, the one, what y'all do is all on TV. So when you come to these other countries, that's all you see. So when you get over here, we kind of got to be like, because that's all we see. That's all they're putting on is when such and such goes to jail, or this with Floyd and that with Trayvon. Like that's the only thing that's been, but nothing good." Then he said a lot of it is depending on how old you are. He said there were promises about coming back to the motherland and this, that, and the third. Those promises was unkept. He said that it's a lot. It's not just we don't like until you get over here. It's a totally different story in some cases. Yeah, and I never knew that until I had that.
Go ahead, Ben. And what did they do when Obama got elected? Kenyans was claiming that dude like he was born there. You had cats interviewing. They was like, "What do you think about the election of Barack Obama?" This dude was like saying, "Oh my goodness, it's amazing." You know what I mean? He was like, "Man, he's strictly related to us. You can get no deeper in blood relation than that." I was like, "Nigga, what? Are you serious?" He one of us now. Oh, because he done made president, he one of us now. Are you?
I'll be back.
Now? Are you serious? But bring my Black ass over there because I haven't done anything yet. Oh man, you're a typical nigga. Oh shit, I can't believe it. You one of them from the slave trade, right? I was like, oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I do the Denzel every time they say that. Really? Really,
Oh,
mother? Oh,
man.
okay. I got it.
Bro, I loved it because I was a part of history to actually see it.
Oh, yeah.
But the, like you say, the buffoonery, bro. Like, no, not saying that he was or was not a good president. I'm going to say it like that, okay? But what I am going to say is a lot of people just didn't hear nobody else's side because, oh, I'm voting for the black president. I mean, that's it. That's it.
No, crazy
That's the
thing
only
is,
reason.
not
That's the
not
only
not
reason
trying
why
to.
you want to vote, because he's partial black.
Yep.
So I'm gonna go back to what
why they
you and
did
Bills were saying, but I wanna interfere in that because what you were saying was fact about Obama about I'm just voting for him because he's black. So I was in basic during his election during election night,
Oh,
and
wow.
this one Asian kid. Now I'm gonna have to admit this Asian kid was saying some borderline racist shit because he's a Republican and he always hung out with the white folks. So put that in your mind. So let's just say, when Obama won, he said the wrong thing around a bunch of brothers.
Oh,
I
no.
think he said something. He said something, and I'm paraphrasing because I actually talked to one of the guys that whipped his ass. And the crazy thing was, I still remember the company name. It was Bravo 369. It's funny, 369. And it was all of our cadre was black. Every single one of them.
Ooh.
From the freaking sergeant major all the way down to my platoon sergeant. So, because he was one of my roommates, he comes on up in there and he's limping, big ass bruise. I'm like, damn, dog, what happened to you? He was like, man, I guess we gotta be politically correct now. I can't say things about the new current president now. I was like, dude, he like say? He said, just because I don't like President Obama, I should not get punched in the face. And the dudes that I guess, and this is why I was just guessing who whipped his ass, but it turned out it was them. They walked past our room, and when you in freaking AIT, they don't have no shut doors.
Oh, no.
Open bays.
Yeah.
The dudes, I mean, they walk by like a gang, and they look as they walk in. And he shut the fuck up. He was like, I'm feeling tired. I'm gonna go back to I'm gonna lay on my bed. I was like, okay. So I
would have snitched on her. I'd be like, this nigga said he don't like Obama. His ass again. Goddamn thing.
So I pulled one of the cats to the side. I'm like, yo, I said, y'all did that to that kid? He's like, yeah, he said some shit. I said, what did he say? He said, well, this motherfucker had the nerve when we watched the TV when they said Obama won. He was like, oh, yeah, because he's black. Now we all got to celebrate. So we swung on his ass. And I was like, oh. They said we jumped his ass. The reason why we stopped was because one of the cadres was coming, and we stopped. And we helped him up. And we told him, we said, you seen any more line shit about our president again? And first of all, he's your commander-in-chief. I'm going to whip your ass right in front of him and tell him that you said something about the commander-in-chief, because you could get kicked out the army for that, which is true. But I don't think the ass whooping.
They probably would have let him go ahead and let it commence. They'd have been like, you know what? Because I had drill sergeants like, you know what? I don't like what just happened here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and leave and let it be taken care of. But then I'm going to come back a little later. Yep, let's see what happens. And when that
good old blanket party. That's the only thing I'm gonna say. I'm keeping it at that. For everybody who don't know what the blanket party is, I just say this: it's a party that you don't want to be invited to.
All you got to do is watch Full Metal Jacket. Yeah. You'll know the whole deal.
You will hate us.
Right. You put your context clues together. Like, come on now.
Look, you will hate a bar soap and a sock, and you will hate your fucking baby.
I'm gonna tell him so he don't think it's some gay shit. Listen. So what happened? So what will happen is it'll be a gang of cats that would go ahead and catch this one dude who can't act right. And the drill sergeant would always say, he would say, you know, y'all need to fix this because this dude is fucking it up. So he'll leave for the night. And what you do is it'll be like probably roughly, I can say roughly about 10 cats. They'll hold a blanket and hold it over and tuck this motherfucker in and keep him pinned in. And what you do is you take a bar of soap and a sock, put the bar of soap in the sock, wrap it around your hand, and hit this motherfucker with it over and over again. Well, until you get tired, depending on the situation. So this dude might be crying or whatever else, but the thing of it is, he learned his lesson. So that's the way that happened. You know what I mean?
The drill sergeant will either do one or two things that's on staff do. He will come up in there and he'd be like, "Stop that yelling, you pussy," or two, and walk off.
Yep.
Oh, but don't worry. But low key, the drill sergeant is gonna say something like, "Hey, I see y'all sorted that problem out because that one person that did all that, he's can't even do it."
But they become the second best soldier in the whole thing after that, man. Because you're like, damn, we motivated him, man. We motivated him.
So going back to the African thing, because me and Billsy, we actually talked about this on the show about Africans and Black Americans. I think it's kind of rich. I don't know if you're friends with this African guy. I don't know. Maybe you somebody that you work with or anything like that. But I think it's kind of rich that he will say something like that about what's going on in Black America here, because when they come here, I know Teach's gonna kick my ass. I know Mayor's gonna kick my ass, but it's just me. Because when they come over here, they don't see what we see.
Fact.
They the first ones that be like, I don't see racism. I don't see racism at all. You got to pick yourself up by the bootstraps. Like I was, my girlfriend, she got me. I haven't watched it in a while, but I've been low key wanting to see the 90 Day Fiance, because right now they got I think they got like another show based off it. Now it's like 90 Days After, but there was an episode where I think it was a Nigerian. And he was dating this white chick, and he already had on the mega hat sitting there saying, yeah, Trump is my president and all that stuff. And then I think homegirl didn't end up not with him and all that stuff. And I was like, see, if people realize that's how Africans is when they first come over here, because they don't see that, because they would tell us, I'm not Black, I'm African, or I'm Nigerian, I'm South African.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm South African. I'm not Black. I don't see myself as that. And when you and what you and Billsy was talking about, once again, Will, I'm sorry, I movies keep coming up. When y'all was talking about that, the one part in Sugar Hill, remember when Wesley Snipes' character and his big brother was trying to make a deal with those Africans, and they couldn't come to a deal. And he called them a name in African, and he was like, and his brother was like, "What the fuck is that? What's that supposed to mean? Y'all cotton pickers." And you saw what Wesley Snipes did? They got to a fight and they whipped their ass. That's all I was thinking about. So,
but to be fair, I'm gonna go ahead and give a little leeway on that. And I'm not saying that it's right or whatever else, but this is possibly the reason why. I have a friend from I've known since high school, right? His family is from Cameroon, right? And so the thing is, they hated Black Americans. They hated them. They hated us. You know what I mean? No matter what, it's just that's what it was with. And so what I did, I asked my boy, I was like, why do they hate us, man? What's the point? He was like, you got to remember when they first came over here on that TWA flight. That's why I keep telling them when he talked about Black issues and he started saying something about reparations and some bullshit. I was like, shut up, nigga. You came over here on TWA. You ain't come over here on no damn shit. Shut up, yo. So he was like, but we all together. I was like, shut the fuck up. You came over here at your own will. So you free. Shut up. So the thing is, he was talking about his parents and how poorly they were treated. His dad was a cab driver at one point in time when he first got here, and a lot of us treated him like crap. I mean, he got to the point that he was like saying that when he would go to school, he would hear the jokes about the African booty scratcher and everything. You would have kids come up to him asking him, what were they saying on Tarzan? And I'm talking about the black and white one and everything like that, right? So they had that mindset that we're pieces of shit, you know, regardless. So one day he invites me over to his house. Now, he didn't tell me all of this until after the fact, right? He invites me over to his house. I go over and I'm being cool and I'm saying hi to everybody. I was, you know, being myself and everything. And then as I left, he was like, my parents really like you. And I was like, why you say that, man? I mean, that's cool. I'm cool with that. I'm glad. He was like, but you got to understand, you're the first Black American that has ever been in my house. I was like, motherfucker, why didn't you tell me this before?
Right.
He was like, they could have went off on me. They could have had a flashback or something. You don't know. I mean, he was like, because I know how you are. And they respected that. Dude, from that day forward, they treated me like one of their kids, man. Meaning, I would come to the house and they would put me to work. I was like, God dang, for real. But I wouldn't say nothing because it was like, dude, I get it. Because if they didn't like me, I would have never been invited over there again. So I was like, okay, I get it. That's cool. Yeah. Man.
So, and it's funny, somebody mentioned reparations, and I want to make that our final segment for the show. First of all, I'd like to thank what's your name again? I forgot.
Oh, Eric.
Eric, we need to have you more on the show, man. You need to be Will. You need to bring him on the show. You need to bring him more on the show. But about reparations, because I think all of what we're talking wraps up into this, because you got a lot of people with the ADOS. Oh my gosh, who remember ADOS? When they came out and they were sitting there saying what reparation, which actually picked up steam. I'm gotta give the credit was crazy, dude. Yvette and what's his name, Tone, the freaking. Well, he's a DJ / a lawyer. They really start to have, they really did have the politicians talking about reparations. It's actually a freaking law, not a law, but actually there is a freaking provision. Well, it's not, well, I say this. It's a law, trying to be a law that is in Congress right now, but right now it's not getting pushed for obvious reasons. But you got a lot of people co-sponsoring all that stuff because of what ADOS was pushing. But then ADOS started to morph into the FBA, you know, Tariq Nasheed. We don't need to get on that topic. Me and Bills, and we talked about that topic a lot. But the thing is, they're both fighting for reparations. And here's the reason why I feel that we're not going to get it. We do deserve it, but this is the reason why I feel that we're not going to get it. If we do not have people that think like us, that not more than just look like us, but have our agendas and positions of power. And I'm not talking on the federal level. I'm talking about local. And see, people think so broad that they don't narrow their freaking focus on, oh shit. You know how people grow the power? They start small. They start local. And if you started at a state level, not only just a state level, but a local level, that's where the real power comes from. But they're not seeing it that way.
No, ain't nobody getting no reparations, man. Nope.
I believe it can. It could be a state thing. It could be a state thing if you put the right people. Once again, like I always mention, super PACs. You put the right people in the position of power, it can't happen.
Nah, man. Last thing Black America need is more free money.
You believe we already get free money? I wonder where that free money is coming from.
Trump gave it to him.
Here come that stimulus check. I knew it was
Oh,
coming.
come on.
I
You know
knew
the
it.
stimulus check is
All right.
taxable, right?
Dig this.
3 of them. 3 stimulus
Dig
checks.
this. How much do I get?
Here we go. Here we
I
go.
mean, how much you get? What do you mean by that?
How much
You
of
was
this
giving
money?
out the reparations. How much
Mhm.
do I get?
Well, also in the plan that one of the representatives have, they will do like a lineage. You do have to put in
Really?
yes.
I have actually traced mine back. The my peoples went to Nova Scotia and was fighting to help everybody else, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Now let's say his people were the fucking Dahomes.
Oh,
And see, that's why I was about and
Do
see,
we get
I
the
was about to
same shit?
I was about to jump into that too, because you
Oh,
got
no.
tribes, because we talked about it on the previous show that they did
How
participate
much
in the
is
slave
how
trade.
much is my cut?
So, but like the reason why I said I wasn't saying that just to be like I got one on you. I was just saying that that's what's is up in there. But you
No.
do bring up a real fact.
Who
That
makes
is
that
the issue.
determination on who gets what?
Who gets what?
That's a very,
Does
very
Jay-Z
good point.
get any?
Oh, he don't get shit. You're a billionaire.
Really?
I tell you.
Look,
He
you
black
still,
though.
you still got billionaires.
Unless he's helping us manage the money, yeah. But no.
But then also you gotta think about too. Like
I don't want him touching my cut.
look, when the PPP loan came out,
Oh,
people like the Lakers got a freaking PPP loan because they technically are a small business on paper. And then when everybody found like, hold up, how much money did the Lakers get? How much is that franchise worth? You realize that they were like, oh yeah, y'all right. Take it.
That's just a business. It makes sense for them to steal. How much did Warnock get for the PPP loan for the church?
hey, it worked for Tom Brady. So I mean, shit.
Worked for Tom.
Yep. Yeah.
Only thing I'm saying is
Hey.
what I'm.
It also worked for them people that's living in the damn hoods. You know, it worked for a bunch of them.
Yeah, bro.
That's true.
Yep.
What I'm saying is, with them getting, because the reason why I use the PPP loan, you see why I mentioned that the Lakers got some. Might as well just put that rule with when it comes to reparations. Might as well, and that's what I mean by people that's been put people in power.
But let me ask this question: since we're talking about reparations, where's this money coming from?
Well, the government gonna have to.
Hold on, before you even answer that shouldn't even be a question, because the way I look at it is like this: if you can give, wait a minute, how many billion? I think it was like $12 billion to the Ukraine to protect themselves.
I think it's up to that number.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So let's
And
say,
then, then also look at how much they give to the military defense budget. Because at one time the military defense budget never, I mean, like back in the 60s, I just found this out. They only gave them like maybe not even $1 billion, maybe $100 million.
Mm-hmm.
And now look at how much they get.
Yeah.
At least $1 trillion.
Yeah.
Hey man, them Space Force toys cost money, man.
Oh, come on.
Hey.
Well,
Russia,
you know
was
what?
something-
Look.
Hey,
Since we
that
did
was
the
one
military, I
thing
want to
Trump
say
got right.
Dude. But yeah, I mean, he's right about that, man. I mean, if you can throw $12 billion to the Ukraine, it started out with $7 billion. And then you reloaded and gave them $12 billion. I mean, listen, it can't be. You can't ask that question where that money coming from. I mean, it's coming from us.
Our money or $12 billion of their money, and it's the difference in.
Why would we be giving them $12 billion of their money? It's
Yeah.
They
So
already.
these are
They don't
tax-
have none.
These are
go
frivolous
ahead,
tax dollars right here, man. That's being thrown like that. So I mean,
And that's not even counting the shopping list old boy sent over for the weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was a literal list of I need this many tanks and some of these here bombs, and if y'all could throw in some of them guns, that'd be cool.
I guess this fool thought it was Walmart.
It's basically having your own Black Express card with no limits. Basically,
dude, that's insane, man. That's insane.
So what I'm saying is this. See, look, I'm sorry, sound like a goddamn politician, whatever. If we start off at a local level and start with the state, think of Mississippi. Look at how much Mississippi had benefited from slavery. Now it's one of the most poorest states in all of the United States.
Brent Favre benefited from that state too.
Oh yeah.
So that was what's going on. You didn't know.
Right. Oh yeah.
I gotta get. He did not know that what was going on. Swear to God, he didn't know.
Blame it on the concussion. Blame it on the concussion. But you know what? You better pay that shit back to that state. Because that's bullshit.
Right. Pay it back. Just he got it.
Yeah.
That money gone. He done already invested it in the next plan, dog. That money gone.
Yeah,
that's one thing I did realize about the no offense, I ain't trying to beat the white race. They keep their money always moving. They don't never stop their money.
And this is why I was saying, if you have people that think like us, that stick to their plan, stick to the agenda, have them in power, and they can make up these rules as they've been doing for centuries and years. I wouldn't even say just reparations. It's like I think once again, it's not a movie but show. Everybody remember the Chappelle Show. Y'all remember the Chappelle Show, that one episode where he was the drug dealer that got away with. He's like, what if Law and Order, if the black guy got all the passes like the white dude did? And you saw how he was getting all the passes. He had the white dude that got in trouble. He had an all black jury, and he like, I plead the fifth.
Right.
I plead the fifth. And that's what I'm saying. If we have people like us in position, now this is what we all can agree on. We have people that think like us. I mean, I'm not talking about the Jesse Jacksons or the Al Sharptons. Don't get me started on those.
Don't neither one of them niggas think like me.
If we actually have people that's like us, like I said, super PAC.
No way.
And then also we have the community actually engaged, not just supporting, engaging with the community. Trust me, we will be in these situations getting away with shit. Period. I believe we can flip the script, which goes back to what you were saying earlier when you say, well, we just have a trouble of coming together. I believe that we can do it. And it may sound simple, maybe it is, because things are simple when you make things stupid hard and you just broaden your freaking horizon rather than just focusing on what you got in front of you right now.
It's not gonna be that easy.
And which was my point.
Be mean or rude about it, but me and a couple of buddies, we was talking. The hardest part for people is in a business situation or a let's help us out situation is playing your role. A lot of people do not play their role. They want to play your role. They want to play your role, and still try to figure out their role, even though you supposed to know your role.
Mm-hmm. You sure is right. You know what? I never even thought of that, but that is so fucking true.
It's not going until it's not, and I hate to even put it that way. It's not, just for that simple reason in itself. Right. People always want more than what either A, they put in, or B, that they even started with in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get out of it.
Right. So everybody wants to be a LeBron James. Everybody wants to be the Kobe Bryant of that section.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
He said, Bill says don't do that. But you know what I'm saying. Everybody wants to be the star.
Everybody want to be a Michael Jordan, right?
Everybody want to be a chief and not an Indian. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta have a Scottie Pippen in a John Paxson.
I love Scottie. I
You know
have
what I
no
mean?
problem being
You,
Scotty.
you gotta have even a Dennis Rodman, as crazy as that son bitch was, he played his role. You know what I mean?
Steve Kerr.
Yeah, you gotta have one of them. One of those dudes, each and every sense of their role and their place of what they do, because they have special techniques or skills for their position. But then all of a sudden somebody go ahead and get more press than the other guy, and then it's like, oh man, he didn't do all that. I helped him do such and such, and nobody recognized me. Look at and the sad part about that, as good as that team was, as I just mentioned, look at Scottie Pippen right now. Look at this fool. All right, he goes on ESPN. He's talking about talking about his stats and all this other stuff. Everybody cheering him for being the number 2 man, and he was like, "What is your?" The interviewer literally asked him, "What is your goal now? Be the greatest of all time." I was like, "Wait a minute, yo, you've been retired for over 20 years. It's too late, bro. You're the number 2 guy. Roll with that. Do segments on the shit, sales stuff like saying that this is how you be the number 2 guy. If you got somebody more talented for the whole team, play your role, dude. It's no shame in that. You got Michael Jordan's trainer making hand over fist and money over trying to tell them techniques on how he became a winner through freaking physical training, man. That's what I'm saying. But you're 20 years out from from being retired and everything, and now you're concerned about that? Too late, bro. You had a chance when you went to Portland, and what happened? Goose egg. Nothing happened, bro.
And the funny thing is, Scottie Pippen has been the second man even in his personal life. Ask his wife. Oh, well, she never said that.
But see, that's the problem. That's the problem there. That's the problem. That's the problem.
And his wife dating Michael Jordan's son.
Oh,
really?
I think we should end the show right there.
Y'all knew that? I didn't know nothing about that shit.
That's my time.
I don't even think it was a date. It was like more like a one-night stand. Anyway, yeah, buddy. Yeah.
Well,
buddy, but then again, he's taking out his father, so it's okay. It was okay. Yeah, I mean, literally, he's being like Mike, like the rest of us was singing. He's actually doing it. So it's okay. It's all right, man. Let that shit ride. But that's why Scotty mad.
Look,
that's
I'm
the
like
big
this.
reason why he mad. So I mean,
and I don't know the reason why. I mean, I think MJ has sung his praises, even though I'm a more of a Scotty fan than an MJ fan. But give the devil his due. MJ have always given props to the players around him. I mean, you got to give him credit for that. I mean, yes, did he bust his ass? Yes. Did he almost break Steve Kerr's face in practice? Yes, but still won a championship. He even got
respect the man on the court.
He still got
anytime. I mean,
period.
You got to respect him on the court at any time. Still at this age.
Yeah,
right.
Not Future. But other than that, it's okay. You know what I mean? Not Future. Yeah, I'm telling you, Future is a bad rapper. I like him. I like his flow and everything like that. But anytime I see him and he starts smiling, I'm like, dude, I look at him like a crooked politician. I was like, he up to some shit, man.
No,
I was like,
hide your kids, hide your wife when you get around this man.
How that boy say? Sensational.
That's also what I'm working on too for this show. I'm gonna start every time we say something like that, I'm gonna have the video, I'm gonna have to pop it up.
Yeah,
just like that. Sensational.
Man, future, man. I'm telling you. But at the same time, you can't fault the guy, because if you continuously advertise yourself like that and about 10 baby mamas fall for it, it's not your fault at that point. It is what it is. You know what I mean?
That's true.
I mean, even what's that girl? Sierra fell for it. So it's wild, man. And now,
she belonged to the streets.
Yep.
He fell for Bow Wow. I'm gonna leave it at that.
That boy put it. That
No
quarterback
offense
put
to
a
Bow
cape.
Wow, but
He
he
put a
Bow Wow.
Yeah, man. I mean, if Bow Wow is running away from her, that's a problem. But yeah, that dude
Bow
put
Wow
a cape on his neck.
and just
He put a cape on his neck
real
and saved her, man. I was like,
Look,
wow.
when he left, when Russell Wilson left here from Seattle, oh my gosh, every Seahawk fan was in their feelings. They were in their feelings. Like, I got a person across the street from me that have a freaking Seahawks flag outside his house. And when I was at work, every guy in uniform that was a Seahawks fan, because they got the Seahawks logo all in the freaking phones, and they sitting there mad. Only one person was happy. Only one person who was a Seahawks fan was happy. And they was looking at him like he was crazy. They was like, man, why he had to leave? They booed this man.
Because didn't nobody see that Geno Smith situation coming up? Nobody
no.
did.
No.
Yeah.
Nobody did. Because
No.
the only thing they seen with Geno was what he did at the Jets. That's it. But a lot of people don't know. One, yeah, he been playing behind Russ for like the last 3 years. Before that, he done played for three, four other teams.
3 out of 4 teams. And right now they're happy now because now they got a winning record. And I'm like, I was like, dang, this is actually turned out to be pretty good. And I see, and look, and Billsing is a witness to this. I've been saying it on this show, and I've been trying to tell everybody else out here. I said Russell Wilson is going to have a terrible season with the Broncos. I'm not trying to make this into a sports show. I told everybody. I said it, Billsy. I said it. I said Russell Wilson is going to have a bad season with the Broncos. I don't know why everybody think he's going to go down there and he's going to rejuvenate the Broncos. Broncos are shit.
It's like I told you. It's like I told you.
The same thing about Mayfield. Anyway. My bad.
Step on his big toe.
Look.
I did, man. No offense to Mayfield, but he wasn't cutting the mustard before he got there. He wasn't.
I thought he well.
He
also,
wasn't.
I could have used my same tense when I saw because
Now,
I like
if
Big
that
Men.
would've
I
happened
like it.
If that would have happened before
he
got that injury, then I would be like, I would have more hope. But Mayfield ain't been the same since after that, since that injury.
No, dude, he was crumbing out from day one, and I vouched for that man. I did.
And tell you the truth, I vouched for him too because I was like the Browns did him dirty. How the word?
And I thought they did too.
No.
And then he come here and he just throwing the ball into the dirt, like
like dude, you got your back, but you can't do that.
Exactly how that was supposed to.
Joe, they gave. You know what? We're gonna go to the final thought portion of the show. First of all, I would like to thank Skies on Society for sponsoring, as well as Cheddar Boy Popcorn. Let's go to our final points. Once I once again, for everybody who's watching on YouTube, thank you. Don't forget to like and support. Now let's go ahead and get to the final points of the show, and I'm gonna do it differently. Usually I just have people just do it one by one, but I'm just gonna throw it on the table and we just give our thoughts on it. It could be something pertaining to the show, or it could be something you want to get off our chest. But for me, I think that, not trying to blow my own horn, but we need more shows like this. We need more people from different walks of life that looks like us, because it goes back to when me and Will, when we first started off on the show, Will said something that literally blew my mind, but I was there with him, where he said that not all black people think alike. That's the truth. We got Mr. Bills, right? Me and him both wrestling fans. We both wrestling fans. Like you rarely see, unless you hang around a lot of them, you rarely see any like black kids really liking Hulk Hogan or Ric Flair or Dusty Rhodes. Just think about it. It's like, do we talk about wrestling that much? Not that much. Do you got the ones that watch the anime? It's funny. I see a lot of as I call them, like the real thugs. They like anime. But say that shit in front of their real, like one of their hardest fans. They're gonna sit there and look at, oh, what you think, you Asian or something? That's some white boy shit and all that stuff. Then you got the skater, then you got the freaking skater, you got the skater boys out here. Definitely out here. You if y'all ever come out here to, well, Bills and you in California, you probably see a couple, like 2 or 3 here and there. Washington, they all up here where they're not only sing hip hop, they sing like, because they still trying to keep the grunge. They're trying to keep the grunge genre going on over here.
Because that's where it was born.
That's where, yes, and that's true. And now it's not more about rock, it's also getting a mixture of hip hop. So think about grunge and hip hop like having a baby. That's the music thing over here. And there's a freaking rap. Listen to me.
Damn,
a rapper that's
together.
I mean, just spitting, and he's painting pictures, perfect pictures, while he's just spitting these lines while he's painting. And I'm like, really? So we have to understand that within our community, definitely for us brothers, us men, we're different, and we have to accept that. We have to not only accept it, we have to embrace that, because once again, if I say I don't like grits, I know I'm gonna have if I was in a room full of my people and I say fuck grits, they probably gonna look at me like I'm crazy. Or most of all, if I say that I hate spades, I think spades is a pointless fucking game, I'm a Texas Hold'em fan, they would look at me like I'm stupid. And we need to stop doing that. And then also we need to stop making fun of people because of it. You just can't sit there and instantly just take their black card because they don't like fried catfish. Oh, you can't. Look here,
yeah, bro. I get that a lot. I think I'm one of the most pickiest eater probably in this room. I think I'm probably is
talking about cheese, man.
But you realize, and you've been there, and witnessed how many times they still fuck it up.
Right.
Look, and I'm like this. If anybody say they don't like catfish, hand it over. I ain't going to diss them. I'm like, shoot, I just know to take it to every catfish place. If you don't like it, I'm going to eat it.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
Both for me, then.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah. And so we have to embrace it. And then also on our political views. Now, the political views I'm kind of sensitive on. I'm going to tell you why. Because it's like I'm gonna use Obama for example. You got a lot of black people that love Obama. Like I went into houses where y'all know y'all got that grandma that got that one Jesus on the freaking got on the freaking wall picking up dust. Got your aunts and uncles and still with your hard ass candy right there that you can't pick up. I went into a house where it had that, and it had Obama's inauguration and his picture and his smile and all that stuff. I was like, right next to her freaking daughter's graduation award from college. I'm sitting there looking like,
wait a minute.
It means something different to them.
Hold up.
To the older folks, it means something different.
Okay, well, if it means something different, how come a lot of these same houses where they put up the picture of Obama and the inauguration and all that other bullshit, how come these same houses didn't have a picture of a black Jesus until they put up that picture of Obama?
There you go.
Right?
There you
Yeah.
go.
I mean, it goes back to that joke. Go ahead.
In these same houses, right? It
used
to be JFK, Bobby Kennedy, and Martin Luther King. And then right when Obama became president, they took the other two down and they just left Dr. King and Obama. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Sometimes
sometimes
you get lucky. Sometimes you get lucky.
MLK.
Look, sometimes you get lucky. You would get Malcolm X.
You get lucky. That depends on the house. That depends on the house.
Sometimes you get my. I went to a house where it actually had Dr. King, had like a portrait like Dr. King, Malcolm X right there. I was like, me being small, I didn't know. I just know that these two guys were important.
Them the ones who still call white people crackers on a regular basis. It's like
that's true.
I can't stand them white devils.
But it goes back to what Will's saying. That same cracker that's still doing the oil change on your car. Like, hey man, I can't get it started. his face, the face that you made, Eric, is exactly what I'm saying.
Because
It's
like it be them same people that be like, well, I ain't supporting white businesses, but drinking Snapple.
That was supporting the Klan. Yeah.
Look,
Or wearing
you
Levi's.
know,
You feel what I'm
fuck
saying?
these
Like,
white
well, come
bitches.
on now, let's be real.
I mean, and right there lies the problem. Like over here, I see a lot more black businesses that I did in my parts in Virginia. Like it really made me feel good to be like, yo, we got black businesses over here. Like it really pumps me up. But at the same time, when you get demonized because you don't go to all these black businesses and all that stuff, and I'm like, okay, reel me this, Batman. So when you start your business and you demonizing us not going to these black businesses, who's the color of your wholesale supplier?
Oh,
Hold up. I got you.
Asian.
I got you one even better.
Mm-hmm.
Who else is other than black people is shopping in your locations? Because we all know that a lot of the white community likes the black community. So where do they shop?
And that happens, and look, and that happens more than a lot over here.
right.
Going into black businesses. Look, I go into black businesses and I see more white people coming on up in there. I'm gonna use Cheddar Boy for example. He constantly, now don't get me wrong, he got the community coming in supporting him, but there's a lot of white people that come on up in there. Like, man, this is the best popcorn. I'm not trying to do a cheap pop to advertise, but still, they said this is the best popcorn I ever had, man. He said one dude literally told me, he said, I used to get popcorn from out the damn store, the canned popcorn. He said, I used to get that around this time. No more. I always come here. This dude grabbed, I'm not saying he grabbed like a handful. He grabbed an arm full of bags of different flavors.
So what does that tell you, popcorn? So what does that tell you, Donnell? When this guy dies, they're going to buy his company. And it's going to be okay. It's the way. Cheddar Boy will live on, but with a different face. Anyway,
yeah, and
his Asians, man, Asians,
and see, right,
Asians, they get it to you on time every time.
And the crazy thing is, we sitting there, we demonize other folks, and not understand it, and it goes back to the man and women, and when the woman's sitting there trying to be the man, guess who runs that business? You may got the female sitting there at the freaking front desk telling you, oh, we do this, we do this, we do this. I'm the general manager. But guess who's running that business? Who's your regional manager?
Yeah, right.
Think about that.
Yeah.
So when we sitting there saying, well, black folks, we need to start doing all these things our own and all that stuff. We got to do everything by ourselves. Yeah, I believe it. But guess what? For that to happen, we have to make deals or work in partnership with people that don't look like us. And that's vice versa for them too. Because they can talk bad about us all they want to. But guess what? They know who their biggest customer is.
Jewish people do it all the time. Literally.
All the time.
They can hate your guts. They can hate your guts, but if they can make a good deal and make money with you, they'll go ahead and deal with you on that capacity.
Yeah, leave it at business.
That is prejudice, not racism.
Because if you think about it, we all do it with each other. But see, if black people was like how our ancestors was back in the day, general wealth, the money go through our communities. A dollar goes in and it stays in the black community for how long? It comes out to be $100 some odd dollars, which was $1 million, probably $1 billion today.
We cannot do that around here, brother.
We don't know who to trust with that dollar.
But I'm saying,
he ain't lying. Around here, you get your damn dollar up, nigga be done run off and built a hot dog stand or something with your dollar.
That's the thing, man. That's what it
Keep the
is.
business.
Oh, I'm gonna get an email about
The
that shit.
motherfucker
That was
See,
that,
I like how this. You know what? First of all, I know I probably went on with my final point, but see, this is how I love that the show have evolved. Just like this, you got brothers on here from different walks of life giving their views. We're not talking over each other. We actually understanding and listen to each other and understand that there's layers to this. There's a lot of layers that comes down to not only just the Black community, but also for us Black men. Which is a whole different show, which I invite Eric, brother, to come on next Monday. I'm actually thinking about doing a show middle of this week, maybe Thursday, because I know me and Billsy, we got our show on I think Thursday, right? So maybe if you're able to come on, Billsy.
Maybe because the thing is, I've started the second gig today, but the thing is, it'll really start tomorrow. Something had fell through, and that's why I was able to even come on here. But it might be. But I'll talk to you about it.
All right, cool. Yeah. We talk about it tomorrow. But yeah, can I invite you to come on the show either sometime middle of this week or next Monday?
Yeah, no problem.
Cool.
No problem.
Because I think this segment need more of this, because we got too many shows like this that don't talk about, the Black community politics. We don't talk about the layers that's actually going on in the community and the solution, because they talk about the problems. Here, we control narrative and we talk about the solutions. We just don't talk within the problems. And that's why I'm happy that Will decided to come on and show his face and all that stuff, be a part of the show too as well. So thank you, Will. And then you got my boy Billsley. He's like, look here, man, I'm going to give it to you straight, no chaser. You just choose you want to have a chaser.
I got
That's
to
how I'm gonna
start
give it to
drinking milk, working out or something. I saw his picture in the intro. Man, I gotta start pumping iron, something.
That's years, man. Anybody, the way I look at it, anybody can do it. It's just it's kind of years of a lot of work with that. I mean, and I'm not perfect at it, but at the same time, it's like it takes a lot, man. But
don't worry.
But it's doable. It's fucking doable. A lot of people want that quick shit. And that's not how it works. You might as well put a needle in, and even when you do that shit's gonna take still a ton of work to make that shit happen. But
don't worry, I gotta work out a little bit after this, so don't even worry. I gotta go in the garage and go ahead and work out. But enough of my final point. Anybody got any other final points before we close out the show?
Oh no, I'm good. I get all mine out the way during the course of.
That's true. You does it. Eric, do you have a final point you wanna?
Nah, I think I'm good. I do thank y'all for having me on today. We'll be talking about the show too. So glad I got on. I actually got a chance to finally get in. But
cool.
I'll be back.
Most happened, Mr. Billsley.
Dude, we said everything, man. I think we talked about unity. We talked about our finances. We talked about what is necessary to go ahead and move forward. I mean, damn, it's nothing more to it, bro. It's cool.
All right, cool. All right. So since we got that knocked out the way, we'd like to thank y'all for tuning in. This is going to be uploaded onto the What Network. Once again, thanks Sky Zone Society for sponsoring, as well as Cheddar Boy Popcorn. Don't forget to check out the realcheddarboypopcorn.com. 15 different flavors, as well as that flavor we had there, cheesy barbecue, which is all point. You got to try it. As well as Sky Zone Society. Their website is still strong at the bottom. Get your merch from them today, and as well as their show is on. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Filthy is back. Don't forget to check them out on YouTube. And I need to catch up on the show any damn way. But other than that, we are outro. As for myself, your host, Donnell Montemores, with Will, Eric, as well as Billingsley. Thank y'all for tuning into another special edition of #Fade to Black. It's been real. Catch y'all later. Y'all stay safe out there. Bye, y'all.
Cool. Have a good one.
Yeah, I'm flipping, spitting these lyrics. Got you feeling what I be saying, like you caught the Holy Spirit now. I done went through some shit up in my past, but it fertilized my future. Now I'm harvesting my cash. I like 'em pretty, but they can't be hot, so did it. Talking like I'm gon' buy what she want, you think it's silly, girl.